Sanmanani Tumelang, hello, Molweni. Are you guys watching? Are you guys watching Married at First Sight, Mzansi season 2? I've been watching, and I've been meaning to do a video on this because there's so much to unpack. I wrote down what each of our contestants said in episode 1 and 2 when they were talking to the girls or to the guys, or when they were talking to the experts about what they're looking for. I have so many questions. The first question I had in my mind was, are we really ready for love, guys? Like, do we want marriage? For real? Like, what are we doing about that desire for marriage? Ngoba Hi. And also, is it possible to really be ready? I don't know, Anditi, as people, we're imperfect, we're unfinished products, and we may never truly be ready. So maybe what we see is the best representation of ourselves. This is what we are like. This is what the dating pool is like. And this is what the diaspora, is that how you say that word? But I think this is what the diaspora looks like. This is the average person out there. Mind you, they scanned a lot of profiles. They looked at a lot of people. They looked at this one profile maybe and thought, not that good looking, not financially stable. So these are the people who were most fit that they could find, I'm thinking. Which is, I just want to read some of the things that our contestants were saying, and then I'll share my thoughts later, as well as all my projections, because I recognize that I project a lot. Bear with me. I want to start with Portia. Portia had a different response to what ended her marriage when she was talking to the girls than when she was talking to the experts. And I think that it's not that she lied to the girls, but I think that she went into more detail when she was speaking to the experts. If she went into more detail and she wasn't lying to the girls, then it makes for a bit of an interesting situation. Okay. Portia said, looks are very important. I'm expecting to see a nice tall hunk. Lol. I had questions at this point when this is all we knew about her. We knew that she thinks that looks are very important and that her marriage ended because there was no more attraction and she and her partner were sleeping in separate bedrooms. And I thought to myself, if you are married, if you say to this person, till death do us part, what are you willing to do to make that true or possible? And how much can happen in 1 year to make attraction go away? It's clearly not a physical thing, because the amount of weight someone can gain in a year, they can also lose in a year, give or take. I'm not understanding what precipitated. And she doesn't go into detail either. She doesn't say, oh, he just stopped looking after himself. She didn't say he physically changed. She just said the attraction was no longer there and they started sleeping in different bedrooms. There's something not right about this. And I'm not saying she was wrong to get divorced. I'm saying what was done to cultivate the attraction? What was done to rejuvenate this relationship? And as I'm not married, so and as she later, when speaking to the experts, said the following: I feel like I lost out on my 20s trying to be someone's wife. Not just wife, perfect wife. He wanted this perfect human being. In his eyes, everything I did was wrong, and in the end, our best solution was to go our separate ways. This is a lot more depth. This is very vulnerable of her to say. Ngoba here, she gives the actual reason, or maybe one of the reasons. She found herself in a marriage where it was very critical of her, and I imagine that might have impacted her self-esteem. I can see how that can make the attraction diminish. I can see how you aren't being seen or appreciated, and therefore are unsafe and are not even in the mental space to think about, attraction or the relationship functioning healthily, because at that place, that's not a healthy place to be. I wonder if they had communicated what they think marriage is going to be like and what they desire it to be like. I wonder if they had talked about their expectations going into marriage. I expect cooked meals every day from my wife. I expect my husband to come home and rub my feet every day. I expect my husband to fill up my tank and make sure my car is doing well. I expect my wife to contribute 50% and to make sure that I'm well fed. And guys, I'm just giving out examples of things that people might expect when going into marriage. And I'm wondering if they just had this picture of what marriage would be like and expected the other person to know that. I say this because I think we tend to do that. We just think that things are common sense, or that the other person should know us so well that they know and anticipate our needs. And when they don't, we become critical of them. We start to see them in a poor light, see them as an uncaring, unloving person, rather than seeing them as maybe someone who doesn't know how to love you best because you have not made that known. I don't know. Something she also said is, in a partner, what I'm looking for is a God-fearing man, a kind man, a man that will stand up for me. He must be a looker. This man must be good looking. I believe looks are important. I would prefer a partner without kids. That's a big preference. However, one is something to consider. In the things that she has said she's looking for, I think these are, the things that generally people say they're looking for. God-fearing man. I'm not sure we know what that means, if I'm honest. A kind man. I understand what that means. Nah. I understand what it means, but I'm not sure if that's enough. I'm not sure if this criteria, if he's good looking, God-fearing, and kind, and without kids. Do you guys think that if she got this, if you and I got this, because I think it's a lot of people's go-to list when they say this is what they're looking for. Do you think if we got this, it would be enough? I don't think it would be enough, because yes, we've spoken to the person's character, but we haven't spoken to the person's personality traits, and we'll find out later that she loves to laugh and she thinks that a sense of humor is very important. And she'll also say that the partner she's paired with is a good-looking person, but she's not attracted to him. And I'm wondering what really is attractive beyond what face you have and what body you have and what height you are. I think there's more to it than just that. And I wonder if we're taking enough time to figure that out and articulate it, or to learn how to cultivate it. Because I believe it's something you can cultivate. I think there are many people who have learned things like charm, things like humor, people who know how to use their presence and their confidence in order to hold someone's attention, and in order to give someone that attention in the same way, to make them feel seen and attractive. And I think Tepo is one of those people who've learned how to do that. That's why I'm saying it's not just a physical thing. There are many aspects of it, and because we're not paying attention to the rest of these things, maybe we could harness it, bridge the gap, and take the time to know the person. I think in knowing someone and in building that emotional intimacy comes then the trust and the seeing and being seen. I don't know. I'm just a girl on the internet making things up and projecting. So then, literally. The other person I wanted to speak about was Palesa. I think that Palesa is very interesting. Here are some of the things that she said. To the ladies, she said, I was 22 when I got married, ladies. So I don't think I knew what I wanted at that point. But then she says, I've always been ready for marriage. I think marriage is beautiful. The problem is who you marry. Immediately I thought, accountability. Where is she? How can you not know what you want but be ready for marriage? And how can you always have been ready for marriage? It's not, you were always ready for a lifelong commitment that requires sacrifice, compromise, work, vulnerability, trust, serving the other person, outdoing one another in kindness, submitting to them as unto God. I don't know. Maybe we don't have the same beliefs about marriage, which is fair. But born ready to be married is not a thing. We're not born married. We're not born ready to do much. We work at everything. I've played small all my life. I think I'm ready to play big now, is her response when asked. But that was her response to the question, why married at first sight? And I think that that's fair. She acknowledges that it's a big risk and she's ready to take a big risk. Big risk, big reward. Fair enough. She continued to say, I got married at 22. It was quite normal, but was I ready? I don't think I was. I don't think I even knew what I wanted at that age. It was hard. It was lonely. It was dark. But I stretched it for 9 years. Let me say that again. I got married at 22. It was quite normal. But was I ready? I don't think I was. I don't think I even knew what I wanted at that age. It was hard. It was lonely. It was dark. But I stretched it for 9 years. I had to fight to belong, fight to be heard, fight to be understood. It sounds like she was with someone who was very domineering and very strong-minded, who may not have been considerate of her feelings or her personhood. It sounds like a marriage without vulnerability or fun or friendship or mutual understanding. Mutual understanding. She does say that she had to fight to be understood and fight to be heard. And I can see that she is quite a strong personality now. I can see that she seems quite sure of herself. So she's worked on the confidence, if this affected her confidence, which I assume it did. And she's worked on her audacity to take up space, which is such a lovely thing. It's such a fierce thing. It's probably great in business. I'm not sure if it's entirely helpful in a relationship. I think that when we've been in a very negative place, we may overcompensate to make sure that thing never ever happens again. And I think that she may struggle to be vulnerable and struggle to open up in her new relationship, either because she is not used to doing that, since she had to fight to get even an inch of that in her previous marriage, if she got anything at all. And I wonder if she's even capable of it, because it's like a skill. You have to practice it. The way we practice communicating in order to improve our communication skills, the way we practice our interpersonal skills in order to be more comfortable and confident speaking to people, is the same way we have to practice being vulnerable and emotionally available, and practice holding space for other people to be able to do the same. Practice listening, practice hearing and understanding. And I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I hope so. And something that makes me even more concerned is when they ask her, what would you like in a man? She says, I want to build with a present, reliable, resourceful man. I'm not saying these are bad things to look for. I am not sure it's enough. I don't think she recognizes her desire for intimacy, despite it not being there in her previous marriage, and despite it being one of the reasons her previous marriage ended. Because you can be present and not emotionally available. You can be reliable, but distant, in the sense that you can do all the right things that require action and not connect with that person and not be friends with that person in the sense of sharing friendship, sharing cares, sharing who you are. And maybe that's not something that's important to everyone. Fair enough. But it sounds like it's important to her. If she was describing her previous marriage as lonely, as a place where she fought to be heard and fought to belong and fought to be understood, it means that there is some sort of longing for that kind of friendship and intimacy and being understood and seen. if she doesn't mention those things when she's speaking to the experts who are going to match her with, you know, another partner, I'm worried. I'm worried. Okay, next person, Nelisa. Guys, Nelisa is so beautiful. Okay, all the people that were cast are good looking, but Miss Nelisa has something about her, and I think it's the gentleness with which she moves and speaks. She walks with grace. When I grow up, I want to be like her. I don't know when that will be. She said so many things, and I didn't catch it until I had to write it down. Ugba, this is a lot. This is heavy. She said, I've been fighting for love, gentle, freely given love that I know from my childhood. The first thing I'm worried about is, how do you fight for something that's freely given? Can you fight for something that's freely given? Or when you fight, are you not forcing? Are you not inducing? It's no longer happening naturally. So why is she having to fight for love from people who have approached her and said, I love you? Or, well, more realistically, I'm interested in you. What happens here? Is she, I'm not gonna say she's attracting people who don't care for her, because I think that as an extremely beautiful woman, she attracts everyone. Once those people approach, is she only interested when she senses an emotional distance, when she senses some nonchalance, some you cute but I don't really care, so that she then has to earn the love back and fight for it? I don't know, I am projecting, I'm not sure, but it's not sounding natural and freely given if it's being fought for. She then said, my choice in men has been pretty questionable. It started with my dad. He kept on running away. I kept on chasing him, just being that girl he can love. It was my approach to relationships. When she said the way she chases is by being lovable, low-key, I get it. I think that if you have abandonment issues of any kind, a part of you flows. Whether you're the, easygoing girl who maybe allows too many things to happen that should not happen and are inappropriate, or you are extremely fun, extremely lovable, extremely charismatic, and you make sure that people can never have a reason not to like you. Perhaps it's time to dial it back. Stop being so concerned about whether or not people are going to like you, and just be. Just exist. I think that it's a thankless job, and it's a never-ending race of trying to please everyone. People pleasing your way into all kinds of situations that leave you empty and do not serve you. and unfortunately will make you easy prey for people who are wanting to use you. I'm not saying it's a fault that she was in an abusive relationship, but I am saying people who are manipulative and people who are abusers can smell it from far away, and they play right at this desire to be loved and to belong that is so strong that you're willing to maybe do anything as long as they can give you a little bit of love. And also with people who are afraid of being abandoned, they may hold on for dear life even to the people they see are damaging and hurting them or abusing them, because at least those people want them. At least those people have not rejected them. And maybe the fact that the other people have rejected them means that they're not really worthy of good, healthy, happy love. And these are all lies. I'm telling you right now, if this is you, if this has been you, I'm so happy for you. She said, let me just get into the other thing she said. She said, I've been looking for someone who can prove me wrong and stay. No. She said, I've been looking for someone who can prove me wrong and say, he didn't stay, I will stay. In a way, I became desperate for love. I wish her healing. I wish her peace, because this sounds like a lot of constantly working and earning and doing, and that sounds exhausting, and I hope that she finds peace and healing. I used to struggle with this. I used to struggle with not feeling worthy of love, not quite feeling like I belong anywhere. And it didn't necessarily make me the biggest people pleaser, but I definitely have had some of those traits. And what helped me is recognizing or realizing that there was someone who was chasing me my whole life, and that person refused to give up on me, and they know exactly how broken and messed up I am, and I don't have to try and prove that I'm dope and I'm cool, and I don't have to try and prove that I'm really great and I'm a catch. I can just be, I can just exist, and this person not only accepts me, not only loves me, but would die for me. If you didn't catch on, I'm talking about Jesus, okay? Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I think that until we stop looking for validation from people, until we stop looking for other people to prove that we are worthy and to prove that we are beautiful and dope and all the things, you'll spend your whole life, I'm telling you, chasing this thing. The last person is Makoto. Makoto is so interesting. I actually think she's a beautiful person. I know that the internet has been giving her so much slack. I think that we aren't seeing the full picture. So she said, the prettier you are, the worse it gets, talking about men playing girls. She said, I feel like pretty girls, they all just want to taste and not commit. I will tell you now for free. Beautiful women getting a lot of attention is something that is age old. But beautiful women entertaining everybody, that's a very new thing. That's a thing from yesterday years old. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't owe those people. Which makes me then wonder, well, why are you letting them? Why are you letting them treat you this way? The next one said, girls can have the same type. Would you swap? I think that was funny. I think she said that to be funny, but I also think that she's probably willing to perform some flirtation to persuade someone to switch over. And this may happen in the season. I'm gonna keep my eyes on that. Okay, next. I've always wanted to have my own family. And I wanted to get married young. I think that's why I had a baby when I was 23. Because in my head, being a single mom was not even an option. I thought, I'm going to get married to this person. We're going to have a beautiful family. But then I guess God had other plans. There are many things that have been said. And I think there are many things that we can resonate with. I think a lot of women just assumed they'd be married in their 20s. Some people even thought it would happen in their early 20s. I don't think many, though, were being brought up to aspire to marriage. I don't think many were being taught how to look for a husband and how to be a wife. We were just being expected to go out there, get a degree, and come back married. Somehow, all these things were just going to happen. So, I understand how these conflicting ideas coexist together in the way they do. Including the line that says she had a child with the person she thought she was going to be married to, and then they broke up, and it must have been God's plan. I'm not judging. But why do we do that? Why do we just say something must have been God's plan when things were very clearly our plan, and our plan failed? Our plan was not well thought through. Our plan, or maybe lack of plan, has not given a desired outcome, or an outcome that we thought we would get. Because we already know God's plan. We already know that God would prefer none of us be sharing our bits with anyone unless we are married. And if that were true, there would be no children out of wedlock. So God's plan is not what happened. What happened is we do whatever we want. We compromise, we barter, thinking, okay, maybe if I do A, B, C, then it will expedite the plan. It will get me closer to where I'm trying to be. And then it doesn't work. And you're further away from the thing you desire. I think it's just very difficult for us to really accept and be honest with the fact that maybe we don't know best. Maybe it's not true. The things we have been taught, or the things that we think they're not true. Yeah. Then she shared a story. She said the worst one was when I found my partner with my housemates in the house. After that, it was very tough to open myself up to relationships again. I'm so sorry to her. That's awful. To the man that did this, he didn't care about you. He knew you'd find out. He maybe was trying to end the relationship, or he didn't care that it would end because he was just here for a good time and not a long time. I'm not speaking on behalf of men. I don't know them like that. But this is not normal behavior. Betrayal of this magnitude may be happening out there, but the percentage, the likelihood is only great within a certain demographic of men. And that demographic is a type that is thinking it is God's gift to women. That demographic leads with flirtation and chemistry and fun and let's go with the flow, and we're just ordinary people. You see, I don't know if you see who I'm describing here, but if they don't see you as the one, not only that, if they don't see you as even a contender, you better leave those people alone. That's all I'm going to say. Leave those people alone. Don't try to convince them otherwise. Don't try to win them over. Don't try and validate your worthiness of love through them. Don't do it, because you won't win. You're just not going to win. You're going to prolong the inevitable. Did that person know that you guys were together? Did you know that you were his partner? I don't know. But this type is prone to being in relationships that aren't really committed, because they play in the gray areas, where the technicalities get a little blurry. So anyway, this is something she said as well to the experts. She said, for the longest of times, I came across people who wanted to taste the cookie jar and not necessarily love me the way I wanted to be loved. I'm so sorry that this has been happening to you. I wish you love. I wish you a deep, deep, joyful, peaceful love. But I fear that a joyful, peaceful love would bore you. Ngoba busy. You are a very high energy and high activity. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I think that a beautiful, peaceful, reliable love would be a love that is built on friendship first. And I don't think that she's ready. And I'm talking about me and you too. Like, if they gave you the perfect person, this person has all the characteristics that you're looking for, but they're not adventurous. They say exactly what they mean. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. If they're not gonna do it, they're not gonna do it. And they communicate and they expect all of these things from you as well. You too also, you must communicate. You too also, you must be happy within yourself and at peace. And you must come knowing what you want, how you want it, when you want it. And if you're not happy, Say what's not making you happy, why it's not making you happy. All these things were my boundaries, were my I don't even know the full list because I don't think I'm, on 1,000% myself. But I'm telling you right now, if you are someone who is still looking for something exciting and flirty, you're looking for vibes. Vibes is on. Don't get married if you're looking for vibes. Vibes can be manufactured. I think that's something we need to talk about. Vibes can be studied, vibes can be replicated, and they can be replicated so well that they almost look like love. Attention, eye contact, but not like that, not like the crazy eyes. Like just intense staring into your soul, noticing the little things about you, doing cute things, always trying to feed you, always touching something, touching your hand, kissing your forehead, all these things. I need you to be very careful of these things. I need you to collect them, just throw them away, because none of these things are actual intimacy. They're not. It's not real. It's the quickest way for these people to get you to think that they like you so much, and then that feeling sparks I like him so much within you, and now you guys actually don't know each other. You're on level 1 out of 10 in terms of getting to know one another, but you're high on emotions, so you think it's at a 10. Balega. That's all I'm gonna say. I close shop, be abstinent, get to know people, and you will see all of the workings, all of the mechanics, all of the facades, all of the deceptive, influential, what's it called? Emotive language. You'll be able to see all of that coming from a mile away when you're no longer operating under that, you guys call it energy. I'm gonna call it what it is, spirit. When you're not operating through sensuality, you'll see what is true and what is not. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of us aren't ready to see the truth, because the truth demands change, and we aren't willing to change. That's why we don't repent. Not attacking, I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to record part 2 about what the gents said, so we can break that down, and then I'm going to make a video about the experts and the pairs they made and the problems that I think will happen. Some of them have already begun to happen, and we are seeing it play out, which is fine. It's fine, dim or wrong, because I should have started making these videos a long time ago, but I kept deleting the clips that I did make, yada yada. Anyway, bye.